It's 1:30 a.m. at night. Now I have to react to this stupid AI generated trash. I don't know if this video is like really obvious rage bait or anything, but let's just take a look. In a country smaller than New York City, owning a car isn't just about getting from point A to B, it's a symbol of success. Well, this isn't even limited to a Singapore thing. I mean, if you have a more luxurious brand, as in the car, then yes, you could say like it's a status of like wealth, or that you worked your ass off and you deserve it, that kind of thing. Owning a car costs more than the car itself. Here, driving is a luxury, a status symbol, and a daily battle against space, roads, and rising costs. When you own a car in Singapore, it's not just transportation, it's proof you've made it. Okay, honestly, I beg to differ. It's not like the only people who own a car are like rich or anything. I mean, there are car sharing avenues out there, but it's just like this is more of like talking about owning a car itself. Hey, but car sharing is fine. Like, what's wrong with it? But what if one day they said enough, no more private cars, none at all? Number one, this kind of thing is just never gonna work out. I know like in the Netherlands they made it so that I think every car has to be like shared. It's like you can own a car, but then okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like if you like have a family, then it's like what you need like at least two or three people like in one car or something along those. I don't know, I never read up on that, but yeah. Hey, at least I admit to not being that well read about certain stuff. Again, I'm gonna say no. Fa- or would the idea face fierce opposition? Obviously, this is why Singapore. Shut the up. Early battle to. Oh, this is talking about the COE, whatever. Is a city that understood the dangers of falling in love with the automobile. There is nothing wrong with it. By the 1970s, as incomes rose and ambitions grew, so did the traffic surging onto roads not built to handle the crush. Now we have wider roads, so I don't see why that's a problem. Just put more bus lanes if anything. I mean, not on the expressways, but like on the normal roads. In land scarce Singapore, planners face a sobering reality without decisive. Dude, I hate this AI generated bullcrap. The island would be swallowed by gridlock. So begin the world's boldest battles against car ownership. Yada, 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 to bid for the right to own a car, a right that only lasted 10 years and could easily cost more than the car itself. It wasn't just a fee, it was a hard cap and unflinching. Dude, these AI generated videos are just not normal. Like the fucking language that's used with it is like, oh my god. Limit on how many private cars the city would allow. Then came another global first. In 1998, government rolled out ERP, installing gantries across key roads. It's not like it helps anyway. To charge drivers automatically during peak hours. It replaced the older system. A more AI generated crap. I'm not even gonna bother. Would never be cheap, convenient, or thoughtless. These policies, radical and controversial at the time, centered Singapore's reputation as a pioneer in urban transport management. Debatable, but they also revealed a deeper philosophy. The freedom to drive must be weighed and often curbed for the greater good of the. Okay, so first off, everybody should have the freedom to drive, especially if they love cars. Here's the thing, if the people who want to take public transport but don't have enough and are forced to, get a car because of the lack of public transport, then yeah, I would pity them because they want to take public transport. But for people who want to drive and or have an actual reason to drive or drive for a living, or if they are car lovers in general, like just as how I am a bus lover, People who love cars deserve to keep their own car. It's just simple. So honestly, fuck this whole greater good or bullshit. From the very beginning, this was just a pragmatic campaign but an emotional one, where the rest of the country surrendered to the rise of cars and inevitability. It was a bold defiance. Shut up. Let roads and cars dominate limited land. Families were the most hard choices. A new car or a down payment on a flat, and over time, Singaporeans adjusted to a new normal, a city where owning a car was a privilege, not a birthright. Okay, duh. The fight against cars, however, was never truly won. I mean, partially because the public transport in Singapore is managed by LTA right now, and it's not by the PTO. So, I mean, even if it was managed well, there would still people who want to drive, and that's completely fine. Despite the strict controls, the lure of the public car never faded. As incomes rose and aspirations grow, so did too demand. And while at the time Singapore controlled car ownership better than any... Are you sure? Just look at the Netherlands, honestly. It still found itself trapped in the relentless costly struggles to stay ahead of congestion. Because the cars couldn't really stop, then the other solution seemed obvious to building more roads. My god. Okay, to fight yada yada. Number of private cars on the road kept rising. Growing population and rising wealth of both locals and new immigrants fueled an unrelenting demand for private cars. Whether born here or newly arrived, everyone wanted a car. Okay, and number one, that is not true. Some people genuinely prefer taking the bus, or they want to cycle, they want to take the train or walk, whatever. So this statement isn't even true. And despite what some headlines boast, how Singapore has solved traffic congestion, it really paints a different picture. Just ask any Singaporean making their daily commute from the CBD to the East area during rush hour. It's not even the East. That's not even like the worst one. The worst one right now is probably like CTE. So this guy honestly didn't even research enough. Traffic congestion, once feared, it became a stubborn reality, and it knew to slow the... Just get straight to the point, man. As more Singaporeans gain the means to afford vehicles, the city's roads, no matter how well planned, strain under the pressure. Not every single one, but oh my god. To restrict cars, but to build its way around this problem, they poured billions into engineering marvels, new expressways, flyovers, and tunnels. The city's map now looks like a web of high-speed roads crisscrossing a mere 50-kilometer wide... That's not even true. This video is just exaggerating. MCE opened. 5-lane each-way tunnel under the sea, and it's touted as the 10th expressway. It costs, okay, fine, making it one of the most expensive roads, and within months of its opening, commuters realized that even this shiny new tunnel only shifted the traffic snarls everywhere. Okay, number one, it's because they need to like cut off ECP to make way for developments in Marina Center and as well as like the greater southern waterfront, and therefore they have to build an MCE. So it's just kind of like a replacement for the ECP. It's not like what this video claims. It's like shifted the traffic snarls everywhere. It's not really that accurate, I would say. Today during rush hour, the MCE can back up with brake lights just like any other highway. Okay, this is true. Now Singapore is undertaking another mega project, the North-South Corridor, which is kind of self-explanatory. And many others show how far the city has gone in trying to accommodate cars. There is nothing wrong with accommodate cars. People need to commute to their destination. Digging through earth and under the sea, and what's wrong with that? At great public expense in hopes of staying one step ahead of congestion. Here's the thing, like, to resolve the congestion on CT, you have to build NSC. The only people who are really complaining about this is the fucking anti-car people. But despite these Herculean efforts, oh my gosh, I'm using such chim and prim and proper language, Herculean efforts. The truth is that each new road has provided only temporary relief, depending on what road it is. Traffic demand has a way of catching up, a phenomenon experts call induced demand. Imagine this, a family living in Tampines. Every morning, dad wrestles with the PIE traffic to get to the CBD. Just use ECP, you stupid fuck. Gripping the wheel as he crawls past Bedok and Unot. Okay, one day the government announces, good news, the PIE is expanding more lanes, faster flow, smoother rides. There's nothing wrong with that. For all his glorious, Dad shaved 10 minutes off his commute. He even brags about it. Wow, it's so fast. And then within months, other families notice too. It's not bad now, then let's drive. Delivery vans, taxis, private cars. Okay, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the issue that, like, when a road suddenly expands, it'll just, in in other words, like induce, it will just encourage more people to use it. Yes, I admit. Okay, let's watch on. Starts rerouting through the new lanes. Others go one step further. Why squeeze in MRT? Traffic. Here's the thing. Nobody loves to squeeze in the MRT. If you love squeezing in the MRT, you are crazy. Traffic is so good now, better buy a car. Car dealerships pop the champagne, COE prices climb, more people hit the roads, encouraged by the illusion of space, and before long, they get trapped in a jam again. You build more roads, and then you actually encourage more people to drive. This is true to some extent, but it's not always true. It's like, whatever, fuck this. The PIE, Singapore's first and busiest highway, has been widened numerous times since 1970, yet when peak periods come about, traffic jams, whatever. Other expanded arteries like Clementi Road or Loyang Avenue saw the same outcome. A brief reprieve for a few months, then congestion back to square one, continuing to build ever more roads to satiate. Who uses the word satiate in real life? Car growth is simply not sustainable in the long term, not financially and not in land use. Okay, the land use part is correct. In Singapore, the KPE, the MCE, and the endless widening of PIE all promise smoother rides. But ask anyone driving from Changi to Bukit Timah at 8 a.m., you're stuck, you're too stressed, because the government even now investing in the next generation of ERP system to replace the gantries, an expensive endeavor in itself. How many more lanes can be added? How many more billions must be sunk into asphalt and concrete just to sit in traffic again? The image is almost cinematic, an island endlessly building, tunneling, charging, struggling to outrun congestion, yet never escaping it. At some point it becomes clear the only winning move is not to keep playing. Maybe the answer is simpler. Remove the very thing that fuels it. What are you trying to prove? Is the car worth it? For the individual Singaporean, it feels like a dream fulfilled, but in reality, it's a... Oh my god, this is so much fake news. Car keys have the trail of debt, in inequality, danger. What do you mean by danger? Environmental damage. Okay, here's the thing. There are like some Euro 7 cars. There are like hybrid cars as well. You don't have to like get electric. You could just get those. Financial cost is crushing. Nowhere else in the world does it cost so much to simply own a COE 10-year license. Yeah, Many Singaporeans take on years of hefty loans, then bleed through the monthly cost, petrol off over whatever. Road tax, maintenance, it's not unusual for car ownership to cost over 1,500 a month. The cars are moving pollution from factories despite Singapore's push for hybrids, and you already know electric vehicles, they are like, how do I put this? It's like, it's just an alternative. It's not even like a real solution or anything. Most private cars are still run on petrol, emitting blah blah blah, blah blah blah, la 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 la. The air is, oh my god. And then there's the human toll. Despite Singapore's reputation from road safety, I beg to differ. That's because Singaporeans suck at driving. Cars also carve deep social divides. That's not even true. Okay, if you're referring to the status part, like, honestly, it's not even true from my own experiences. Only about one third of households own cars, and the truth is mostly the higher income third. Okay, that's self-explanatory. But some people do use their own cars to drive for a living, deliveries and stuff like that. For the rest, public transport is the only option. Well, he's not wrong. But honestly, I would rather eat KFC than watch this video. Yet city roads, parking spaces, and land are overwhelmingly designed around private vehicles. Okay, that's not true for the most part. Okay, it's like there is some truth to it, but the fact that he uses like overwhelmingly isn't even like correct in a sense, because there are a lot of like major roads that have bus lanes, or maybe like the traffic lights it, that they okay, what I meant to say was that like maybe in Tengah or something, I do know that some cars they abuse like that area, but it's more of like there are some like roads that only buses can access, and it's like the bus only right turn roads. Sorry, as in like only buses are able to right turn or left turn into another road that's like bus only for a certain part. And so the thing is that like even though there's some truth to it, saying overwhelmingly is just kind of like exaggerating. If it's a silent inequity, the majority navigating narrow sidewalks, the sidewalks aren't even narrow compared to like other countries. So he's just bullshitting. And packed MRTs, while wide asphalt lanes carry machines that mostly serve the privileged few, walk through any neighborhood in Singapore and you see the imbalance on immediately. Dude, this is already kind of like decent for a sidewalk. And in fact, like most of the sidewalks in Singapore are like a lot better. Okay, I do know some roads like Sungai Kadut or like Woodlands Road, at some sections they don't have sidewalks at all. But for the most part, this country is already like lucky enough that like they even have sidewalks. Whether the sidewalk has been adequately maintained or not is another case, but this whole imbalance thing that is coming from this guy is like bullshit. The whatever, I'm not even gonna read this. I mean, because it's like self-explanatory. Cars, machines that can. Oh my god, this. So basically, he's just trying to say, oh, you can only fit like 4 to 5 people in a car, whereas you can fit more on public transport. Okay, here's the thing. I like bus, and then I do know a bit about trains, but I'm not going to like use this whole, oh, cars can only take 4 or 5 people in order to like, you know, push whatever agenda that I want to push. Entirely the precious land are given over to private vehicles while the human beings. Just look at this picture for example. Never mind. PIE. Okay, so here's the thing. He's saying that the MRT is crowded, and then he's going on to say could fit nearly into one train. So, are you saying taking the MRT is good? Okay, if your point is like we should build more MRT lines, and I mean like actually design the routes well, okay, fine. You're giving people an option. You're not forcing them to take the MRT. You're just giving them an option. Moving faster. Singapore doesn't have like express MRTs. It's mostly local stop. And sometimes a journey by car is actually faster than a journey by public transport. So this video is fucking wrong. Cheaper is like debatable. And without burning a drop of petrol at a standstill, well, you are burning diesel. And for MRT, it's not like the country is run on like renewable energy anyway. You're still consuming electricity, which is generated using fossil fuels. So his whole thing about, oh, without burning a drop of petrol is bullshit. 1 person per metal, he's just talking about blah, 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 blah. Blocking ambulances, okay, this I agree. They need to be more, this country's drivers need to be more gracious towards ambulances and convincing themselves this is only anti-car people would say bullshit like this. Even the rise of car sharing apps, widely praised by the paid media as the future of sustainable mobility, have barely moved the needle when it comes to traffic or pollution. I mean, like, this is not to say that like car sharing apps are not good. This is just to say that like people still prefer owning a car for whatever reason. And then you move on to say, oh, instead they make it worse. But here's the thing, like, if you manage to get people off the private vehicles and only make the people who actually want to drive you make them car share, it's not making it worse. You're actually solving traffic. I mean, the only thing, I mean, I don't drive, but like, the only thing I'll say about car sharing is that if it depends on like the community in general. If they don't take care of their vehicle, then everyone gets impacted. That's all I will say. They still rely on petrol. So, are you trying to say that we must go full electric, contribute to traffic, and have led to more accidents, often driven by drivers like PD169L, less experienced drivers who see it as an easy way to get behind the. Why are you blaming it on said kids who are like who just got their license at like 18 years old? Why are you blaming it on them? And ironically, if you try to rent an electric car through these platforms, it often costs more than a petrol one. Well, because it's not mainstream yet. You give it a few years and it'll probably be mainstream anyway. Cause yeah, by making driving more accessible, they actually encourage more people to drive. This is actually true. Not fewer. The roads don't care who owns the car. They care how many are. Rephrase that, please. When all the costs are laid bare, the staggering financial burden. He's just trying to use costs to guilt trip people into not buying cars. Accidents, pollution, social divide. Again, just shut up about the social divide already. It's not even a thing in Singapore anyway. The wasted space. What do you mean by wasted space? The question becomes unavoidable. Is the Okay, he's repeating himself again. The final chapter, this sobering inventory of negatives. Again, who uses that phrase in real life? Oh, the sobering inventory of negatives sets the stage for our final chapter, where we flip the perspective instead of focusing what cars take from. Okay, so you just spent like 15 minutes saying car bad, car bad, car bad, car bad, when you could have done it in just like 2 to 3 minutes at most. And number one, car light, meaning less reliance on cars, is possible. Car free is impossible. You're just living on another planet. Not even Netherlands is like car free, they're just car light for the most part. What if, I'm not going to repeat this because he already just said this in the stupid intro. Picture a city where it's unrealistic, even extreme, especially in a society that equated car ownership with. That's not even true, but this isn't a Shut up. Is a vision of reclaimed streets. Okay, so basically, this guy is just a radical new urbanist that's trying to convert everybody to like cycling. That's built for people, not much. People need to get from place A to B in the fastest time possible. God damn it. You expect them to cycle from fucking Pasir Ris to Tuas? The first transformation would be financial. Never mind. He's repeating himself again. Singapore could invest in. They are already doing it, you stupid moron. And building safer, shaded pathways for cyclists and pedestrians. Transportation would shift from being a privilege of a few to a seamless public utility for everyone. In the long run, the savings. He's not even being relevant anymore. Look, okay, building safer shaded pathways for cyclists and pedestrians, they are already doing this. But just because they do this doesn't mean that you're gonna make people not drive. Okay? People need to drive for a living. Simple. Second, safety would improve dramatic. What the? Okay, for this point, I do agree that with lesser vehicles on the road, it would technically be safer anyway. But who's to say that the buses don't break down, the MRTs don't derail and get into accidents? Okay, but if if he's talking about like how when they are lesser vehicles on the road, not saying no cars, I'm just saying lesser vehicles on the road. When you actually let people choose between whether they want to take a car or whether they want to use public transport, then okay, assuming that most people actually want to take the bus or train and who actually don't really want to drive, and you're saying that the number of people who drive actually reduces, then therefore it's safe for everyone, then yes, I agree. Traffic accidents would also, he's just being very like euphemistic as well. What do you mean by statistically but emotionally? What do you mean by streets would feel safer, not just statistically but emotionally? It's not like I'm asking you to like jaywalk through PIE or anything. There are already like underpasses, overhead bridges, pedestrian crossings. I do admit that Singaporeans are like terrible drivers in general, but like it's not like, what do you mean by statistically and emotionally? This is not because of car ownership. This is because Singaporeans suck at driving. Culture will replace the defensive, anxious relationship. No, people don't have with traffic. Okay, whatever. The land. Okay, I admit that like Singapore is land scarce, and then they have to reclaim land, given over to roads and parking for. Okay, what's wrong with it? The thing is that like, it's not like Singapore is not like the U.S. Whereby they have like these giant large car park. By the way, I actually like those giant car parks. It's like when there are no cars, you can just run around and just play there as long as there are no cars, and it's like flat, not just concrete everywhere. But in Singapore, it's like there's like multi-story car parks which are actually quite space efficient. That's why they are even designed in the first place. Roads take up 12%. Okay, whatever. Singapore's land area, which is nearly as much as the land used for house. Okay, I mean like more housing, more roads. It's simple. There's nothing wrong with this. In a, these spaces could be transformed into parks. Okay, here's the thing. Whilst I agree that Singapore has a bad habit of just cutting down their forests and building more stupid new HDB towns with it, yeah, that I agree. But don't relate this to like what a fucking car-free future. What do you mean? In a car-free future, these spaces could be transformed into housing. Okay, you build more and more and more and more houses. Then how the fuck are people gonna get from place A to place B if there are no roads, there are no buses? Gardens and public plazas. Irrelevant. I just said that before. Housing supply could increase, bringing prices down and offering hope to younger generations who increasingly feel that owning a home is out of reach. Now, this one is actually a valid point. Picture the Orchard Road stretch not only with 4 lanes of traffic but as a broad Oh my god. Don't even bring this, come on. Okay, dear Filipinos, you guys take 502 and 518 to Orchard Road. Nobody cycles there. Nobody walks there. If you get rid of the roads, fucking 502 and 518 aren't even able to run anymore. And that's not just these services. There is like 16, 175, so on and so forth. This guy is just clueless. Greeneries, cafe, street performers, and maybe a tram line. Trams don't work in Singapore. I'm sorry to break it to you, but trams just don't work. Look at the amount of like traffic. No, as in like Singaporeans are mostly terrible drivers, and because of that, trams will never work. And the thing is, like, trams need infrastructure as well, and the government isn't really like so keen on doing it. So this guy who made this video is like out of his mind. The CBD could shed its maze of parking lots and become a human-scale district where people move on foot or bike or by tram. So he's just a tram lover, admittedly. Multi-story car parks could be retrofitted into community centers, libraries, or homes. Who lives in the CBD? It's so expensive. It's just for rich people. Removing private cars doesn't stop movement, it upgrades it. Nah, that's wrong. again, back to the point, if you're saying lesser vehicles on the road means better flow, better traffic flow, then I agree. But given how this guy is just a stupid tram extremist, probably I'm not gonna take him too seriously. Yes, aloha fun. I really need fun because this guy is like making me lose my brain cells. Let the euphemism begin. Singapore's already world-class transport could reach deeper, run faster, and stay open later. Do you guys know that they just killed the NR bus services because of the bus driver shortage? This guy is not grounded in reality at all. Singapore being world class in transport is like kind of debatable, but it's like the public transport here is like generally okay, I would say. I'm not saying it's like super good or anything. I'm just saying it's okay-ish. At least most places are like connected. At least in like the suburbs of Singapore, the public transport in terms of access, public transport wise, it's a lot better than Japan anyway. So I already talked about that in the video. Yeah, and that's a fact. Feeder. Oh my goodness, this guy is just a train extremist who says buses cannot travel long distances. Cycling. This guy is so ableist. He's assuming that everybody is physically fit to cycle. Dude, it's like not everybody cycles and not everybody is fond of it. Let people choose. New technologies like electric pods or trams, like the one featured in Max and Go's YouTube channel, could fill the gaps. This guy is out of his mind. They use this in airports, not in towns, okay? You're out of your mind. Transport would be faster, cleaner, cheaper, and truly for everyone. It doesn't take a genius to know that this statement is false. Some might argue that the rich will never take public transport, but comfort can be designed. Number one, this is a luxury train. This is not even realistic. If you remove cars, I'm saying if you like really ban them, you would see the MRT starting to shit. No matter how comfortable the seats are, you still have to stand anyway. Lounging in reserved seats with extra space, Wi-Fi, and quiet cabins. I mean, guys, you already know that this guy is out of his mind already, right? You want Wi-Fi, you want quiet cabins, then be prepared for your train fare to go up to like $50 per ride. I'm not even joking. Just look at Japan and how much they charge for the limited express trains or like the luxury trains in general. The thing, again, you make people squeeze on MRT and then now you're like, oh, I want quiet cabins, I want Wi-Fi. No, the Wi-Fi is gonna be shit anyway because, hey, I have used the in-train Wi-Fi in Japan before and let me tell you, it's not that good for obvious reasons. I'm not trying to say that they did a bad job or anything, but I'm just saying the Wi-Fi wouldn't be that good. I do know that SBS Transit also tried Wi-Fi on like some of their buses before. I've never really used it, but like again, if you have Wi-Fi, okay, even Japan's like the Shinkansen, they have Wi-Fi, but it's like it's not really that good, and most of the time, they would have to be elevated. If it's like underground, yes, you can put like the internet cables there, but it's like usually when the train enters like a tunnel or something, the Wi-Fi wouldn't be as good. You have to be above ground, and most of Singapore's railway is like the metro type or like the subway type. It's not even like above ground. Maybe for like LRT or maybe Jurong Region line, you could like put free Wi-Fi in there, I mean, obviously the transport fare is gonna go up, and I don't think Singaporeans would like that. They just want their basic needs met. The Wi-Fi thing isn't really something that's like needed. The same goes for like the charging. What do you call those? It's like charging ports on like buses. It's or like trains. Again, those are luxuries. But if you have those luxuries, your transport fare would definitely increase. Jesus Christ. Astaghfirullah, azeeeeeem. You know this is not realistic. Faster routes, just make express buses or express. Okay, I know express trains are a little bit difficult, but you can try airport express. But that's all you can do. But Singapore is like maximum from west to east. It probably takes around like 1 hour and a half or like 2 hours. So you don't really need all those. Jesus Christ. Again, though, this guy is not grounded in reality. Where is this taken? Is that health would... Okay, if you're saying reduce pollution, then yes, but people might get uncomfortable if they have to squeeze on board the train every single day. Okay, just because you remove cars doesn't mean you're gonna solve like the congestion in trains. You cannot just like poop out train lines again and again and again. They need time to be constructed, and they need to be worth the investment. If a train line is not worth it, then you replace it with a bus route. I mean, like, the next important point is that health would improve, not just through... why am I regurgitating? I think I'm brain dead already. But through daily habits. Okay, try to squeeze on a train if you're rushing, if you rush for it on an empty stomach early in the morning. Tell me if you guys love it, because you guys haven't experienced Japan yet. Lower noise the noise levels aren't just like related to cars. Electric cars are quieter, electric buses are quieter. And even JRL, they're gonna have like the noise barriers as well. This guy is just a stupid new urbanist numbtot that is like, oh my god. He's saying so many things that are like out of point. Some might argue that, well, it does. That's the reason why walking and cycling are not really that practical here as commutes. Last mile, yes, but long distance, no. Shaded boulevards, yes, I agree. Those should be built. Expanding covered walkways, yes, I agree too. But here's the thing, it's like, he's just so like euphemistic, and he's not even like offering any real solution. He's just yapping like that. What's that lady's name? Greta Thunberg. He's just another one of them, but a lot worse. At least Greta Thunberg isn't like as detached from reality as this guy is. Already part of Singapore planning DNA seen in park connectors, bus stop shelters, and tree-lined avenues. Well, that's not really just limited to Singapore. Okay, maybe the tree-lined avenues, but like this isn't just a thing for Singapore anyway. Could redirect it to something far more urgent, fighting climate change. Yes, fighting climate change. You buy more Euro 7 buses, you buy more hybrid buses. You want to go for electric venti buses? Go for it. You want to convert to electric cars, hybrid cars? So be it. Here's the thing. It's like reducing car ownership is okay, but especially if people who want to take public transport can take public transport, people who want to drive can drive, people who love cars can still enjoy their like diesel cars. I'm sorry, petrol cars, although there are diesel cars. But this guy, yeah, instead of pouring money into more road cooling technologies, why not we have both? We still need roads. He's trying to say that, oh, if we have no roads, we could invest in more cooling technologies. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. Comfort but survival itself. This island could achieve some of the cleanest urban air in Asia. Tourists would find a city where walking is a pleasure, not a check. Okay, to be fair, walking is still kind of a pleasure in Singapore. It isn't even a challenge. You try to walk in Japan. In some places, you cannot even walk properly, okay? I'm not gonna say North America, okay? Just try Europe, try Japan. This guy isn't even grounded in reality. Where every street corner is alive with community rather than idling engines. Hey, I love the sound of idling engines, so screw you, as a bus enthusiast. And of course, essential vehicles will remain buses, ambulances, and delivery trucks. Okay, you never mention taxis, you never mention people who drive cars for a living by the way. All critical services would continue. Okay, at least he brought up this point, but taxis are like essential as well, you dumb shit. All provisions will be made for persons with disabilities. Yes, this is something that we should do. The goal isn't to drag Singapore back to the days of ox carts. Well, the way you presented this video, it's implying that you want to drag people to the days of ox carts. It's just replace the ox carts with, like, say, bicycles. It's to lead forward into a cleaner, smarter, more human way of moving around. Numb thought on crack. This is a city that shuts down streets for Formula One, celebrating. There's nothing wrong with it! While most people spend more time staring at brake, like, oh my god, this is not even relevant. Can't afford to. The real question isn't whether Singapore can afford to ban private cars, but whether it can afford not. He's not living on Earth. Conclusion. Banning private cars in Singapore wouldn't disrupt the average I'm gonna rephrase it for you. The reduced car ownership in general wouldn't disrupt the average driver as much as it, because, as I told you, traffic flow. Banning is out of the question. Would trend the powerful industries that profit from keeping them on the not relevant. It's not just about convenience, it's about watching profitable industries shrink. Irrelevant. Any serious move to phase out private cars would face fierce resistance. Okay, you talked about all of this in the video, and then you're saying, oh, they will face fierce resistance. There are warnings about economic collapse. It will be a quiet transition. It could take extraordinary political courage. Well, the political courage isn't even like how you describe it. It's a different kind. It's not even about. Singapore has never talked about banning cars. That's not even like. That's not even on the drawing board anyway. I'm not the kind that puts that. Shut up. Of course, the real test the day politicians are might. Oh my god. Am I missing out on something? Of course, the real test might come the day politicians are asked to arrive at Parliament on the MRT. Well, I mean the current guy, Mr. Jeffrey Xiao, if I'm not mistaken, he takes the MRT, so I don't see anything wrong with that. At least he's like, it's not about like car light or anything. It's more of like his job is to make public transport better without fucking over the cars. I mean, at least reducing car ownership a little bit and improving traffic flow, or like maybe more bus lanes along normal roads, not expressways. You could probably try a bus lane on the expressway, like viaducts from like Beauty World to what's it called? Lornie Highway. You could try that, like grade separated ones. Yeah, you can try that, but realistically speaking, the bus lanes mostly are on like normal roads, or if you want those like silver zones, then okay, go for it. But it's more of like, at least he is boarding like the buses or trains, the system that he manages. That's the main point. Never mind, this statement is, I don't even care. These were our thoughts on the idea of a car-free future. Let me tell you something. Your thoughts are absolute bullshit. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I actually had to watch this entire stupid thing. yawmiddin. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, please preserve my sanity. Okay, so after watching this video, I conclude this guy is just a stupid new urbanist, NUMTOT in short. Do not ever argue with these people. They are just the vegans of the transport world. You don't force people to give up their car. I say this as a bus enthusiast. People like this, I sacrifice my time. I'm just telling you guys, these people are not worth your time.